الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربي زدني علما وارزقني فهما. My dear brothers and sisters, young ones and elder ones, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another live episode to this health show named as Your Health. Alhamdulillah. This is a health show as you would have seen in the past, where we discuss different health paradigms, health tips, things which can be of benefit to you and to people who have certain ailments, who are out of balance, out of sync. We mentioned before that it's no good treating the single symptom when there's a disturbance or ill health in all the body. And this is what homeopathic medicine does. In fact, not just homeopathic medicine, all natural based holistic medicines kind of fix the person's body. They fix the so-called soil. If a person isn't sleeping well, he's having stressful days, his diet isn't very good, he's living in a damp accommodation, then his ailments will not go away until everything is addressed. His sleep is better, his habitat is a lot better than his previous one, his food is good, his stress levels are reduced. Then that will make his total health get better. This is what homeopathic medicine promises, alhamdulillah. It's been used for so long. It's over 220 years. The royal family has been using homeopathic medicine. Prince Charles has used it recently when he had certain ailments. His mother, the Queen, and her deceased mother, she also was an avid user of homeopathic medicine. Alhamdulillah. In fact, as I mentioned, many aristocratic families and previous presidents of the United States of America have used it. It's the second biggest health system in the world, and that says a lot. MashaAllah, in many countries of the world, it is the kind of national health system. MashaAllah. In Germany, in France, has millions of users. In India, in Cuba, so many places. It's based on science. Homeopathic medicine is a scientifically based system. It takes in, the famous law of homeopathic medicine, let like cure likes. About vaccination. The same thing applies to a degree in vaccination. Smallpox and cowpox, whoever had smallpox won't get cowpox. Why? Because they were immunized, i.e. a small amount of cowpox was given to a person. Edward Jenner did this, and then they realized that person, or in this case it was a dairymaid, she didn't get, cowpox. So why? Because the symptoms of cowpox and smallpox are very similar. So same thing with the homeopathic medicine. When you administer a medicine which in its pure form can cause the symptoms of the sick person, it will take away the illness. Obviously, in homeopathic medicine, the doses are infinitesimal. They are very small, but they are enough to let the body know what needs to be healed. Alhamdulillah. So my friends, I hope you've had a wonderful Eid, inshallah. I hope you've had a very good Eid. May Allah Ta'ala accept your a'mal salihah you did in the first 10 days of Zil Hijj. Alhamdulillah, many people were fasting. Many people did good actions, and you know the hadith that those 10 days, the ulama say, are better than the days of Ramadan. In fact, better than the last 10 days of Ramadan. Some ulama say that these nights of Ramadan, the last 10 nights, and generally the nights of Ramadan, are better than the 10 days of Zil Hijjah. But there's a difference of, a scholaristic opinion. They were wonderful days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us these days again and again, and give us the ability to do good actions to please Allah. Amazing. Anyway, What I wanted to go through today, first of all, we've got with us, hopefully, in the last part of the show, Yannick Mizepo. Yannick was on maybe some months ago. Yannick Mizepo is a 3 times, mashallah, African Sambo champion. He's making great strides, and he's making great advancements on the national MMA scene. And he's doing very well, mashallah, our Muslim brother Yannick Mizepo. So he will be with us today just to share with us how we should be staying active in these 6 weeks holidays which are coming, and what he's got planned for the people of Bradford, mashallah. So hopefully if he makes it here on time, he will be with us. He has a very busy schedule, obviously, but he did promise, so inshallah we're looking forward to him coming in the last 15-20 minutes. But until then, I wanted to share with you 23 different signs that show you, the normal person, that there's something wrong with his or her body. 23 different signs that will show us that not all is right with the body. Something isn't right. Something needs changing. Before we go on to these 23 different signs, we've just got a call waiting. We'll go to the call first of all, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Gee, sister, you're live. Farmai.
So my mum, she's elderly. She's in her late 70s, and she says that her legs hurt from the back, and just under her calves, below her knee.
Acha, below the knees.
Yeah.
On the calves, exactly.
Just like the bottom half of her legs.
All right, okay. Do you think it's the bone or is it the muscle?
I'm not sure.
If she's with you, just ask your mum, please.
Both. She said both.
All right, okay. And nowhere else in the body she has any more aches and pains, no symmetrical pains, just that area, mashallah. Is she healthy? How old did you say your mum was?
She's 79.
Mashallah. So does she have any other health complaints?
She's diabetic.
Anything else?
She's had a stroke before.
Yeah, Allah give her full shifa, inshallah. Okay. And she's on what medication apart from the blood thinner, I'm assuming, and
she's on amlodipine, metformin.
Metformin, yeah.
I think there's one for like the blood clotting.
Sure.
I don't know what name it is.
Okay. Nothing else. Is she on statins?
Simvastatin
or vastatin at all for the cholesterol?
I'm not sure.
All right, that's fine. But no other health complaints apart from what you mentioned. And she has pain in the calf regions. There could be bone. It could be also muscle. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah. Please keep watching, inshallah, and we'll come to the question very, very soon. Is that okay?
Right,
Jazakallah. Jazakallah. Thank you very much. In fact, let's just answer this question right now. We had a sister ringing in for her 70-year-old mother. May Allah Ta'ala bless her mother with health and safety and tranquility. And may Allah Ta'ala bless all our parents, wherever they may be, with afiyat. Afiyat means, amazing. What afiyat means is complete safety from all issues, whether they're monetary, whether they're physical, whether they're mental, whatever they are in this world and the hereafter as well. There's a dua of Rasulullah, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afwa wal-afiyya wal-muwafati ad-da'ima fi dini dunya wal-akhirah. And then it continues, Allahumma fadlini min bayni yaday wa min khalfi wa an yamini wa an shimali wa min fawqi wa a'udhu bi'azmatika min an nuqtala min tahdida. Oh Allah, keep me safe in all situations. I ask of you afiyat, safety, tranquility in my dunya, in my world. Fi dini wa dunya, in my religion, in my deen, in my dunya, in my wealth, in my children, in my family. And then, oh Allah, protect me from in front of me, from behind me, from my right, from my left, and above me. And I seek refuge in your majesty that I be deceived from beneath me. So, afiyat is a great thing. And also, this dua, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Amazing dua. This dua that I'm sure you've all been reading in the last 10 days of Zil Hijjah. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا, oh Allah, grant us فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً, goodness in the world, وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً, goodness in the hereafter, وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, and keep us safe from the fire of Jahannam. Once somebody came to Imam Hassan Basri, rahimahumullah, who was the student of Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu. Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu, amazing sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Once Nabi Kareem said that I am the city of knowledge and Hazrat Ali is the door. So this knowledge that Hazrat Ali had, he passed on to Sayyidina Imam Hassan Basri. So somebody came to him and he said, I've got this issue, my son isn't being very good with me, give me a dua to read. And Sayyidina Imam Hassan Basri rahimahullah said to him, read, Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Oh Allah, grant me goodness in the world, grant me goodness in the hereafter, and keep me safe from the fire of Jahannam. So off he went. Another person came, he said, I have monetary issues. I don't have enough money. I'm struggling to make ends meet. Please give me something to read. Hazrat Imam Hassan Basri said to him, read, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Another person came and this lady said, my daughter has no rishta, she has no marriage proposal. Please give me something to read so she can have a good proposal. Imam Hassan Basri said to her as well, read, Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. 10 people came with 10 different needs, and Imam Hassan Basri rahmatullah said to each of these individuals, read the dua, Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. So after these people, when one of his students said to him, oh Imam Hassan Basri, this was amazing. All these people came, 10 different people with 10 different needs, and for each of them you said the same dua, Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. I don't understand. Imam Hassan Basri, Hazrat Sheikh Hassan Basri rahimahumullah said to him, you don't understand because you don't know the meaning of hasana. Oh Allah, grant me hasana in the world, grant me hasana in the hereafter, and keep me safe from azab Jahannam. So hasana, he said to him, every good that is in the world, every type of good, wherever you can contemplate and what you can't contemplate, if it's good, it's included in this dua. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana. Oh Allah, give me goodness in the world, wa fil akhirati, and goodness in the hereafter, and save me from the fire of Jahannam. I mean, hasana. So his student was very clever. His student said to him, oh Imam Hassan Basri, if we get goodness in the hereafter, surely that will include being saved from the fire of Jahannam. If we get goodness in the hereafter, surely that means we'll be saved from Jahannam. So why do you again say, وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, save us from the fire of Jahannam? So Imam Hassan Basri said to him, just because some people will go to the paradise after spending time in Jahannam. Some people will go to Jannah after spending millennia, so long in the fire of Jahannam, until they become coil, when you get these coal and embers. How long does it take to something to become a coal? It takes so long, so long. So these guys will be in Jahannam for so long, and then they'll be taken out and sent into Jannah. So he said to him, this is why specifically in this dua, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Allah, Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. Keep us safe from Jahannam. Yani don't even let us go to Jahannam for an iota. Give us Jannah straight away. So this is an amazing dua. I just thought I'll mention this as a jumla mu'tarida. So this sister rang for her mother, mashallah, and she was saying that she has kind of pain in her lower calves. It could be muscular, it could be bones. Well, what we normally suggest, if there's no arthritis, there's no rheumatism, then it's more likely than not it's muscular. And one of the best things you can use for muscular pain is a balm. It's a very, very well-known balm, and it's kind of a secret. The masseurs, the people who do the massage, they use this, and it's called Arnica balm. Arnica, Arnica balm. It's amazing. It's got medicinal kind of oils in. Calendula oil is in there. Comfrey oil is in there. Also, you have Arnica oil. This is amazing. So if you have this pain, then if you use this on your calves, maybe twice a day, massage it, let it kind of be absorbed in the skin, maybe after having a bath, then you utilize this, it'll be absorbed much more better. This will help with if it's stiffness, if it's pain, it'll help with that, number one. Number two, when it comes to muscle, we have a lack of magnesium. In fact, in these 23 different symptoms I have in front of me, on slide 1, we're going to go through all these, inshallah. Some of these symptoms also have a lack of magnesium. If you have a lack of magnesium, you will have muscle aches and pains, stiffness on the body, inside the body. Magnesium is very important. So if you can also get a magnesium spray, then this magnesium, and you can spray again this magnesium on the area where the pain is after having a bath. This will help relax the area. And more than that, vitamin D. Vitamin D is so important. Vitamin D, it has 300 different functions that it plays an important part in. Vitamin D, what it also does, it affects the gut biome. And the gut biome makes, what does it make? It makes the B vitamins. So vitamin D is very important. People who have aches and pains, generally, their vitamin D level is low. Increase your vitamin D. One good way of doing vitamin D, you have these tablets with your GP's supervision, Hoax D3. They're very, very effective. They're in high doses. They're prescription only. So I think, as far as I'm aware, check with your GP. But they're very good to bring up your vitamin D levels. And number 2, cod liver oil. Cod liver oil is marvelous. It's so good for dry skin. One of the things we're going to go through today is about flaking skin. And in there, the biggest way to kind of remedy flaking skin is cod liver oil. But not just flaking skin. Cod liver oil has vitamin D in it, vitamin A in it. It's got its own fish oil. And all these combinations are an excellent kind of tonic for bone health and muscle health as well. Not to mention heart health and mind health and your mood. So these few things. First of all, Anika balm is very important. Get this. There's certain health food shops in England. They stock this Anika balm, number 1. Number 2, magnesium. Get the magnesium spray and spray on the area. And number 3, check your vitamin D levels and increase them. Very, very important. So if you have any questions, please do phone in, and inshallah ta'ala, it'll benefit you, it'll benefit everybody. So 23 different signs and symptoms that show that your body is not in good health. You have a car, you drive the car and it starts stuttering, or on the motorway it makes certain noises from the wheels or the bearings or the bushes, or something isn't right and it needs to be looked at. Your body is much more important. This friend of ours, Yannick Mizepo, when he comes on later on, he'll tell you how important it is to have the good diet. Often when we were with Yannick, we'd be having our food, and Mr. Yannick himself would be pulling up to a food store and buying, of all the things, what would he buy? He'd buy dates. And he'd eat the dates, mashallah. So food is very important. The right food is extremely important, because our body, we only have one body in this world. Paradise is a different story altogether. But in this world, as they say, you have one life. So live it in the best way. Live it in the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and look after your body. So these 23 signs and symptoms that we'll go through in the next few weeks, inshallah, they will tell us what deficiency we have inside us. Okay. Now, after once you know these 23 signs, mashallah, you'll become a bit of an expert. You'll be sitting with people and you will then know, by looking at them, you will realize certain illnesses that they may have. And you will have to then control yourself, because often, you will then say to them, look, this is your sign and this indicates this deficiency. This illness you have is because of this reason. Yeah. So there's 23 different signs that indicate different things. So 23 deficiencies, or 23 different signs that indicate deficiencies in your body. 23 different signs that indicate that all is not well with your health. Let's start with let's go through all. If you go to slide 1. Adil, have you gone to sleep? Jazakallah. So we've got 23 different signs that your body is deficient in vital nutrients. Jazakallah, Adil. So we have 23 different signs here. Okay, let's quickly go through these first of all. Number 1, white spots on nails. Number 2, oily skin. Number 3, cracking, especially corners of the mouth and the heels. And number 4, flaking skin. And number 5, yellow eyes. And it goes on all the way: angina, craving ice, pitting edema, chapped lips, night vision, nightmares, and all sorts. But today we're going to stick with, inshallah, these first 5. So let's start with the first one. In fact, before we even go to the first one, let's talk about the reasons for these deficiencies. So why do people have deficiencies in their body? They're living in the 21st century. They have food. Why then are they having such, deficiencies? So there's 3 reasons why you and I may have deficiencies of nutrients, of macronutrients, micronutrients, of vitamins, of minerals in our body. Number 1, The first reason is that our gut. So there's 3 reasons why you will get these deficiencies. Let's go through the 3 reasons. Number 1, you have malabsorption. Malabsorption means the apparatus inside our stomachs, our large intestines, our small intestines, the areas, the surface of these intestines. People have diverticulitis, illnesses that mess up the whole intestines. These are kind of out of balance, out of sync. There are problems in the gut. And I mentioned before as well, the gut is so important. The gut of of a person, the microbiome, is amazingly important for so many things. In fact, if you look at the homeopathic history, we had a homeopathic doctor in 1911 who made medicines based on the gut flora of sick people. Gut flora of sick people, people who were unwell with certain illnesses, were treated with the flora of people who were well, or people who'd already been unwell with a certain illness, and they'd recovered. So this person made medicine, homeopathic medicine, diluted medicine based on the previously ill people who had recovered, based on their gut, and gave it and administered it to the people who were ill, and they recovered. And now, 100 years onwards, modern science is catching on. They're catching on that how important is the gut, that you have good bacteria. You be very careful of taking antibiotics, because antibiotics they don't discriminate. They're indiscriminate. They'll get rid of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. H. pylori. How many people have H. pylori infection, Helicobacter pylori, and have taken course after course after course of antibiotics to get rid of it, only for it to return? Not realizing that it's to do with the mouth, because you have bacteria in the mouth as well, good and bad. Same way as you have good and bad in the stomach. So these antibiotics destroy the good and the bad bacteria, and then you are left with stomach problems. You're left with oral problems. You have thrush in the mouth. You have thrush in other places as well, all to do with the stomach bacteria. And this stomach bacteria, if this bacteria isn't good, then believe you and me, you are open massively to serious illnesses, the likes of diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, stroke issues, Alzheimer's, dementia, major illnesses, rheumatism, arthritis, all to do massively with the state of your stomach health and the state of your mouth health. So the first reason why we become deficient in certain nutrition is because our stomach is disordered, malabsorption. So you can't absorb the food and the nutrient from the stomach because of it being damaged, number 1. Number 2, or maybe you don't have a gallbladder, or you don't have enough bile, secretions of bile. And if you don't have a gallbladder, then how are you going to pull in the vitamin A, D, E, and K? You'll be deficient in there. If you don't have enough bile, same things. You can't, your body can't kind of metabolize the A, D, E, and K. So you'll be deficient. So number 1 was malabsorption. If you look at the slide number 3, you will see the reasons for this malabsorption. So in this malabsorption, nutrients no longer effectively are absorbed in the small intestine. So in the small intestine where the absorption takes place, nutrients are not absorbed. Slide number 3. Okay, here we are. So malabsorption takes place because of the stomach being disordered. You can see micronutrients and macro, big nutrients and small nutrients. But the same thing is, none of these will be absorbed because of the intestines being in a very bad state because of illness, underlying disease, whatever it may be. Many people cannot absorb the food. They're constipated. They have diverticulitis. They have a lot of inflammation, IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, or irritable bowel disease. This stops them from absorbing the food. तो पहली वजह हम ये बता रहे थे कि बाद लोगों के अंदर ये कमी होती है, यानी न्यूट्रिएंट्स की, खुराक की. इसकी वजह ये होती है, इसकी 3 वजह होती हैं कि खाते तो हैं लेकिन उनके अंदर यानी ये जो विटामिन होते हैं या न्यूट्रिएंट्स होते हैं उनकी कमी ज़ाहिर होती जाती है. अव्वल वजह इसकी ये है कि उनका जो पेट के जो यानी तेज़ाबियत है वहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा तेज़ाबियत होती है. 1 नंबर 2 वहाँ ख़राबी होती है पेट का जो यानी माहौल है, माहौल ही समझें, वो ठीक नहीं है। उन्होंने एंटीबायोटिक बहुत ली हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा यानी जो शुगर खाई है, इसकी वजह से उनका जो पेट है वो ख़राब हो गया है और उसको रास करने की उनको तरीका नहीं पता, मालूम नहीं है उनको। तो सही करने यानी पेट को ठीक करने के लिए सबसे एक बेहतर तरीका यही है कि आदमी जो है ये जो गुड बैक्टीरिया कहलाया जाता है, गुड बैक्टीरिया, ये जो दही होता है ये दही खाए या केफीर होती है वो खाए, इस तरह खाने खाए जिसकी वजह से पेट के अंदर वो बैक्टीरिया दोबारा पैदा हो जाए। अगर वो आपको कोई एलर्जन हो यानी ये खेसीन से, दूध से वगैरह, तो आपको आजकल तो यानी ज़बरदस्त गुड फ्लोर की जो कैप्सूल वो मिलते हैं, आप वो ले सकते हैं इंशाल्लाह 3-4-5 माह तक, और आपका जो पेट की जो सेहत है अजीब मरहले तक पहुंच जाएगी इंशाल्लाह, और इसकी वजह से आपकी बाकी जो सेहत है वो भी अजीब उरूज तक पहुंच जाएगी इंशाल्लाह। सो दैट्स द फर्स्ट रीज़न व्हाई people are nutritionally kind of bankrupt, because they're not absorbing the food. Number two, the second reason, they're not eating enough of the right foods. They're not eating enough of the right foods. They're not eating enough of the nutritionally dense foods. I mean, people will be eating, if you look at slide number 4, you will see that, look at this food, all these grapes and mashallah apples and carrots and tomatoes, they look so nice, but when you cut into these and you bite into this fruit and vegetable, chances are that there'll be no taste in it. Why is there no taste? Because the foods are not what you would call nutritionally dense. There's no nutrition in them. Why? First of all, because they are not grown, mashallah. Adil, that looks very good, mashallah. First of all, because they're not grown in the soil. It's not even, it won't be soil, it'll be like dirt. They're grown in dirt, so they'll have no nutrients inside it. That's the first reason why they taste like that. And when they are kind of produced in such low class soil, there'll be no nutrients in it. So nutrients are tied to the chemicals of flavor and taste. So if there's low density and low nutrients, then believe me, there'll be no taste in that tomato, for instance. So that's the second reason. The food they're eating, it just looks very good. There's no nutrition inside it. That's the second reason. And then the third reason is that they are consuming refined foods. Their foods are refined. Refined means what? It means that all the goodness has been taken away and it's just left kokla, it's hollow. So, and this is what the foods we kind of eat nowadays. And what this does, the consuming such foods, what this will do, it will take away and deplete your nutrients. What you have, like sugar, for instance, sugar takes away zinc. People, one of the first things we want to speak, in fact, let's just go to that right now. Some people, the first sign of deficiency in your body is that you have white marks on your fingernails. You will see, if you look on your fingernails, maybe you will see some white marks. Some people will have them kind of horizontally, and some will have them just, vertically. Everyone's different. Now, what does white marks tell you? That's one of the 23 signs. Let's talk about that. I mean, many people think that these white marks tell us that we have low zinc. That's one thing. It could be low zinc. But what's caused the lack of zinc? Sugar. Sugar takes away and depletes zinc from your body. Sugar will deplete zinc. So either if you have these white marks, either you increase your zinc, or number two, and much better for you, is stop your sugar. People throw sugar onto their Weetabix and cornflakes. They chuck it on. Most of the illnesses of today are because of sugar. I mentioned maybe about a year ago, the 5 countries study that was sponsored by the Kellogg's, cereal company, which gave us, which said to us, fats are contributing to, all this pandemic of heart health. Where in reality, it wasn't the fats, it was the sugar. So people ditched all their, foods in the morning, their cereal, well, not the cereals, they came to the cereals, they ditched their kind of, the meat they'd eat and, solid foods because of the fat scare. They didn't want to have any heart attacks, etc., and went to the cereals. 30 years fast forward, the obesity rates have kind of quadrupled. The nation is much more unhealthier, and nothing's happened. In reality, what had happened was that the study was biased. It was actually, this study wasn't done correctly. It was sponsored by Kellogg's, and who benefited from this study? Kellogg's, of course. In reality, fats are good for you, the right fats, mashallah. That's why before you were told not to have eggs by your GPs, now you can have eggs. Alhamdulillah, one of the best foods for you is eggs. In fact, let's just look at these. When I mention low density nutrient foods which have less nutrients in it, let's look at the ones which have good nutrients in. Slide number 6, please. Okay, so the most nutritionally dense foods, the most good foods for you, number 1 is salmon. Which salmon? Not your kind of farmed salmon that you find in certain supermarkets. I'm talking about wild salmon, wild Alaskan salmon. Salmon is one of the best foods for you, for your mind health, for your brain, for ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, heart health, for so much things. Fish is amazing. So salmon, fish, shellfish, liver. Liver is amazing. If you have iron deficiency, liver should be eaten regularly. And then for fats, you got sardines, egg yolk. Egg yolk is an amazing food. All 12 amino acids are found in egg yolk. Then look at carbohydrates. You got kale, blueberries, seaweed, garlic, dark chocolate, potatoes. These are all nutritionally dense foods, providing that they have been they've been grown in rich soil, not bankrupt soil, not in dirt. So, and then again, mashallah. So this is the kind of food we should be focusing on to make sure we are not deficient. So we were mentioning the first point was white spots on the nail. So let's look at slide number 8, inshallah. Okay, so we've got slide number 8 in front of you, white spots on nails. As you can see, that white spot. Now, what does that white spot indicate? That white spot indicates, many people will say iron, okay? But many people will say zinc, and that's right. Lack of zinc is exhibited as white spots. But it's not just a lack of zinc. It can be, if you look at slide number 9, it can be all these things. Number 1, it can be iron deficiency. If you have iron deficiency, that will also cause these white marks. Number 1. Number 2, liver cirrhosis. If you've got scarring of the liver, you can have white marks on your nails. Number 3, kidney disease. Number 4, heart failure, diabetes, problem with digestion of proteins, as I mentioned, issues with your bile, and also excessive loss of proteins in the intestines. If you're not absorbing foods, they're going out via the intestines. And then zinc deficiency, psoriasis, eczema, fungal infections, all these things can cause these spots. Okay, so that's the first sign, white spots on the nail. The second sign, the second sign is oily skin. Oily skin indicates that all is not well with your body. Why do you have oily skin? Oily skin generally indicates a problem with the sebaceous glands. You've got too much what is known as the male hormone androgen. If you have too much male hormone androgen, you will have oily skin. That's the males. When ladies have oily skin, and number 1, number 2, the ladies, why do ladies have an excess of androgen, the male hormone inside them? It's because of the polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. And what causes PCOS? PCOS is caused by an increase in insulin. Insulin is caused by increase of carbohydrates. You see the sugar. When the sugar comes, it reduces the zinc. And one of the best ways to get rid of oily skin is, whether male or female, zinc. One of the best ways to get rid of oily skin is zinc. So you can either decrease your sugar or you can increase your zinc. Very, very important. So the solution to avoid oily skin is decrease your sugar. It's not rocket science. If you decrease your sugar and then you increase your zinc, you will find this male androgen hormone decreasing to normal level. There's kind of a balance as you get with omega-3, omega-6s. In the whole body, there's a balance. Once that balance is disturbed, whether it's the gut flora, whether it's the mouth flora, whether it's your nutritional status, whether it's omega-3, omega-6s, you will have signs and symptoms. And this sign and symptom of oily skin indicates that you have too much male androgen hormone. You need to bring it down and into balance. And how will you do that? By decreasing your sugar and increasing your zinc. 15 mg of zinc is wonderful. Yeah, you can have zinc. And also the polycystic ovary syndrome I mentioned before, one of the main reasons for this is chicken as well. You know, chicken contains hormones, and I've already mentioned why you get PCOS is because the male androgen hormone is very, very high. So inshallah, we're going to go for a break now, and after the break, hopefully, we'll have a small interview with our friend Yannick, who will give us tips on exercise, etc. Please stay with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.